All right. Let's see if we can't get set up here so I can see the comments.
Own a business? You're gonna want to hear this. If you own a business.
These darn ads. Who puts these ads on here? I'll tell you what. Jeez. What's up, everybody? Got a bunch of people here. Joe, Luke, Anthemius, James, Keith, Polar Bear, Jeremy, Johnny, Matt, Wayne, Joe again, Ken. What's happening, y'all? What do we got more to do than to sit around and BS on lockdown, sitting here doing nothing? So I'm going to let my boy run around the house playing, probably making a huge mess while my wife's at work. And we'll sit here and chat for a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And once you kind of get shut out of bowling and you're told you can't do it, you realize how much you love it. Now me, I'm kind of enjoying the time off, to tell you the truth. But I am bored. Like, I want to be, not bored, but I want to be doing reviews. I want to be doing lessons. I want to be, doing all those things to at least, no, I can't get out to the lanes anymore. We went one day during the shutdown, and then the bowling center was worried that they were going to get fined and all this and that. So I was like, all right, I guess we can't go anymore. And then like the next day, we got basically told that we're not allowed to be there anyway because of the government shutdown or the state shutdown. So I was able to go for a day. Me and Mason were able to do some cool little videos, which we wanted to do a whole lot more, and we didn't get a chance to, but we'll try to get him on. We'll do some live stream like this with him, sitting next to me or whatever, and we'll talk bowling. We'll do some more things. But we're going to try and, kind of do a little Q&A here. And there's one subject like I want to talk about that really really frustrated me earlier today. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But we'll try to go through comments. We'll try to talk as much as we can, and you guys just tell me what you want to do. All right, so Keith just got back into bowling after a 25-year hiatus. That's good news. We always like when people get back into it. Waiting for bowling to start back up because of this virus. Scandal bowling ball and an astrophysics bowling ball. Fever pitch. Been out since January because of surgery. That sucks. Anybody buy anything new within the last month? Actually, here's a better question. Has anybody bought a ball from Bowler X in the last month? That's a good question. See if there's anybody on here that's actually bought any bowling balls. Which ball is stronger, a Notorious or Axiom? I don't believe I know what a Notorious is. I know Notorious B.I.G. Bought a UFO Overseas Promotion Tour. All road, but not from Bowler X. See, now it's going to roll like junk because you didn't get it from Bowler X. I'm just kidding. It's going to roll fine. Squatch Hybrid 2 weeks ago. Nice. Blizzard Rush. Show Me the Money. I got those reviews coming. I got the Blizzard Rush and the Show Me the Money at the shop, so we're going to drill those up whenever this whole junk is over with. New Redemption. The Redemption seems to be really popular right now. Really, really popular. Hey, how can you avoid the thumb to turn inward towards my leg in the backswing, opposite of being on the inside of the swing? By not doing it. I mean, it's really difficult. It's funny when you say that. I've had some lessons. I've had some people who, it's really frustrating. I try to force their hand to do it, and they still try to go in with their thumb. And they can't feel themselves do it. So maybe you need to get a wrist restrictor. A wrist restrictor might help at least make it to where you can feel it a little bit, because then you can kind of lock your wrist in that spot. Hopefully that would help. So go to bowlerx.com, get yourself a wrist restrictor, and we'll see if that will help you. Think about the white Lane Masters ball. No, I mean, the PBA, I don't believe it's an issue with it not being PBA approved, because they're still good bowling balls. I think the problem with a lot of the Lane Master stuff sometimes is it gets a little bit pricey because of, the way they have their stuff made, and they do all the different things. And the higher material, the better material, I guess you would say, out of those bowling balls make them cost a little bit more. So I guess it depends on really what you're looking for. But everything I've seen so far from all those companies, or at least from the Swag and the Lane Masters so far, I've liked every one of them. I've drilled the 3 of them so far. I've liked them all. So, do you know how to coach two-handed? Yeah, I'm getting more and more into it. I haven't done many videos on it because I kind of want to develop a little bit better understanding of it before I go into trying to teach, the masses. But as far as the basics, the fundamentals, the few little tricks that there are to being two-handed, yeah, I've definitely done some coaching with it, and it's pretty easy to it's easy to teach. It's not easy to do. So there's that. Haven't got all my balls from Amazon or from my buddy in the pro shop in the bowling alley. As long as you're buying bowling balls. I bought the Pure Diamond because of your review. Can't wait to get it in 2 months. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. It's can't wait to get it in 2 months. Why 2 months? I don't get it. Because we're not going to be able to bowl in 2 months, I guess, or for 2 months. But that Pure Diamond, it was really versatile. It was one of those balls that it would do whatever I really wanted. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Try to go back up. They're coming in too fast. Thinking about keeping your elbow in was the tip JR gave me, staying on the inside. Yeah, the point of your elbow is pretty important when it comes to trying to keep to the inside. If you think about the point of your elbow staying inward, it helps keep your hand to the outside as well. I got a cramp in my foot. What do I got a cramp in my foot? Yeah, I got a cramp in my foot, buddy. Not too far from classic lanes. You think it's possible you could teach me how to drill a bowling ball? It's possible. I've been doing some training classes or some training videos on drilling bowling balls and stuff on my YouTube channel too, so you can watch some of that stuff. I'll be doing more as soon as I can get in there. As soon as I can get in there, I'll have a bunch of stuff to do. What do you think is the best pearl ball right now? One that goes straight and hooks really hard on the back. Ooh. Probably it's going to be a tie between like an IQ Tour Emerald and the Green Money Badger, in my opinion. Those were the two best that I've seen. And they give you just enough of a different reaction that you can drill them both. Watch it. Dog's hitting the camera. Who's the best house bowler in Metro Detroit? Whoa. Can you get out of there? Get out. You're going to knock it over. Best house bowler. Boy, there's so many of them. Like the Detroit area is just jam-packed with really good league bowlers. With really good bowlers in general. So I don't know that I could really name the best. I have no idea. I couldn't even put a name out there. There's so many. No bowling centers open here. Nope.
Bowling there.
You guys need to get away. Come on, get off the dog. Go, Kina. Go on. Go lay down. How do you raise your axis tilt? Good question. It took me quite a while to do it. It took me going with pitches to the left in my fingers and then really focusing on getting the crease of my thumb right here facing the lane as long as possible to get it to go up. So, hey, quit yelling at the dog. Go lay down. Kina, go lay down. Go on. How old is my boy? My boy is 2. He'll be 3 in May. So he's actually messing around with one of my prototypes. Which, yeah, I'll kind of show you. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll show you a couple of the things some of you probably saw. Whoops. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll show you.
What is that?
It's my tool.
Oh, my tool.
Yeah.
What is this?
That's you. Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Baby, yeah, you're on the screen. So this is one of the new things I'm working on. It's called a span wheel, which is a gauge for measurement. You've probably all seen, so a lot of the pro shops, or if you are a pro shop person, you use something like the Bill Taylor wheel, which is really similar to this. It's got the holes on the side, and then you have the measurements off the side here to where you kind of put your thumb in and then your finger across, and then you lay your other finger across and you take your measurements and you do all that jazz. But then this one, it's really cool because now I can flip it around, and then we have the holes here, which we're redoing. We're making these a little bit bigger so that way you can put grips in it and your grip sizes will fit in there, and then it adjusts to the span that you actually select here, and then your fingers can go in. And the cool thing is now I can adjust the pitches of the fingers on this to make it to where now we can go away with the pitches where this turns, and you can change your pitches on it, or you can go underneath, whichever way, and then you just base it off the measurement and you check it out, and then you put your grips in it and it's all good to go. And then the other part, there will be an adapter that goes on top of the thumb hole here, which will be able to let you measure the oval of the thumb as well. So it's going to be, we're trying to come out with a couple different designs, one for the pro shop. And the reason for this is, I know it seems simple, but we want to give an option to the pro shops that's a little bit less expensive than some of the, the $1,800 big setups where you got a ball with all these different thumbs that go in it and then the different spans, and there's just too big of an elaborate setup. For a beginner pro shop, you want to be able to spend a couple $100 and get something like this that can do all that stuff that big elaborate setup can do, but but you don't need to have a huge setup. This will actually just hang on the wall or be right there. So the only thing missing on this right now is thumb pitch. I'm still working on trying to figure out a way to how to do thumb pitch. But the reason I'm not too concerned with thumb pitch is because looking at someone's hand and, checking their flexibility in their thumb, or looking at the webbing of their hand, it's pretty easy to figure out what thumb pitch is going to be best for them. And then there's always all kinds of gauges and stuff to be able to tell what they actually need. But I think this was a pretty cool idea. I had some guys approach me on this and was like, hey, what do you think of this? Do you think we can do anything with it? And I'm like, yeah, definitely an option there. So be on the lookout for this coming soon. We're going to hopefully be bringing it to the market eventually. Let me back up and see what we got here. Comment wise, my son will be 3 in May also. Nice. Very cool. Go build your castle, buddy. Told my wife I wouldn't buy bowling ball at the beginning of last year, bowling season, until I bowled 300. I bowled 300 about a month ago, and I'm going to try to decide what to buy. Nice. There we go. Cool. Keith, I don't know a price on it, but I would imagine we're trying to get it anywhere between that $280 range to about $350. And I know that seems like a lot, but when you're talking about the Bill Taylor wheel, that's $200 and it does nothing like this, or those big elaborate setups that are $1,800. You know, it just gives you a little bit cheaper option. Better patent that soon. I don't have to worry about that. The other guys have that taken care of already. So just be real. It's not my design. I'm just giving input and helping these guys out on it. So, I mean, it'll be good. I have 2 Ebonite Turbo Rs, contemplating drilling a short pin 2-ish and a 5-inch-ish, simply to see reaction differences. Question is, do you think it's a waste of time, cash, or is it it's Rob. Hey, Rob. I see a big difference between short pins and long pins, because the long pins still flare a little bit more. The difference is they flare about the same. The difference is the long pin allows the core to get into a motion later, which gives you more down lane motion, even though it makes it cleaner all the way through the front. At least this is what I see. And then the short pins give you overall less hook because it hooks early, because the core lays down and it gets into its roll so fast that you don't see the reaction and smooths it out and blends it out. So I think one and the other, I think doing both is a good option, because now you get the illusion of cleanliness with the 2-inch pen or the 1-inch pen, and then you actually get the cleanliness with a little bit of pop down lane with the long pins. So I don't think it's a waste of money to do that, no. Recently switched from trying the yo-yo to under the ball and releasing like a frisbee. Is that weird? No, not at all. Whatever works for you. There is no right or wrong way to do it. I mean, there's wrong. There's just not really right. There's ways that can be good for anybody, different people. What's up with Mug Club? Yeah, that for some reason that site got shut down. I don't know what happened, and I didn't look into it. So I guess this is Mug Club now. So I'll have to come up with some stuff for the people that did purchase their mugs through there. I know everybody's got their mugs and stuff now, but we'll have to do something a little bit different there. I'm going to come up with some different ideas here. I've got all kinds of free time over these next few days, so I'm sure you'll see some other stuff coming out. Which, speaking of, yeah, we'll get into that later. As a young two-hander, I've had some pro shops say that pin lay doesn't matter because I can manipulate my hand. Yeah, that's not true. You still got to have good layouts. You can only do so much with your hand to be able to make a bowling ball work. You can still have bad layouts as a two-hander, so I wouldn't necessarily say that. Hi, I'm 219, typical house shot, full roller. Mo Pinnell mentioned this style should use lots of surface, but it rolls out on... Now, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody's going to give you an opinion on what you think you should, or what they think would help you. It's up to you to try different things to figure out what actually does help you. So Mo's going to give you an opinion on, he thinks that you should try and use more surface to get that, to get that ball to make its motion a little bit quicker and move it a little bit faster, possibly what he's thinking, to get it off of the center of your grip. Maybe. I don't know if that's exactly what he's thinking, but that would be what I'm thinking on it. But it's going to be up to you to try different things. Whatever you think is going to work for you, whatever does work for you is what you need to do. What is the beer behind the couch? I'm drinking my wife's beer because I don't have any in the house. So I'm drinking her Angry Orchard because it is 6:10 and I have to deal with a 2-year-old by myself every night now. So I have my 1 beer a week or so. That's about it. I use a Timeless at 1,000 polished. In my opinion, that ball was junk, but we won't go there. At least I didn't see very many people that liked it. How did you have that Lane Master diamond ball laid out? It looked really controllable when you bowled with Mason. Yeah, it was a 4.5-inch layout. I didn't do anything crazy with it. It was like 50 by 4.5 by 50-ish. It was something like that. Just really standard, nothing crazy, and it was real versatile for me. So, and that's the layout I use on a lot of stuff that I'm not sure what it's going to do, just because I don't want to make the ball look bad. And it allows me to really show what a ball's capable of. So that's kind of cool. Thanks for still doing the content through all this. Sucks we can't bowl. Yeah, I mean it's hard. Like that's why I'm doing a lot of the in-home type of training videos now. Like you're going to see one just about every day. I just did the new one today about increasing rev rate. So for those of you that you don't have, I don't want you using a real bowling ball unless you have some contraption in your house where you can throw a bowling ball in your house. Hey, more power to you. But if you don't, that's why I got that foam ball. You'll see in those other videos. I made it out of just an 8-inch. It was 8.7-inch foam ball I got from Michael's. And I just wrapped it up in tape, so that way it didn't shed everywhere, because styrofoam likes to shed. That way I can throw it up against the wall, I can throw it up against the door, the couch, whatever, and it's not going to hurt anything. And we can go through and do some training videos that you can actually work on, like your swing plane, closing the windows down, getting the ball into the right spot with your hand, creating different rotations. We're going to do all that stuff through this week. So hopefully we don't have to continue to do them for that long. So that way we can actually get into the bowling center and do some training. But that's kind of the idea, is to at least keep some content alive, keep some people, still talking bowling, still learning bowling. You can still get better from home. You don't have to be on the lanes to get better as a bowler. You can definitely work on visualization. You can work on your mental side of the game, which is still more important than the actual physical side. Anybody that watches me knows that I am a mental head case. So I can do whatever I want with a bowling ball, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be successful. And I've proved that over the last, year or so now. Just that's the way it goes. It's taking me some time to get in the right spot mentally, to believe that I can do what I used to do. And eventually we'll get there. Now I'm a weekend warrior. I'm going to be bowling all the regionals this summer, where I've seen a lot of success. It's just going to take a couple of good events that build some confidence again, because my confidence isn't really that high. I know you wouldn't know it the way I talk, but my confidence isn't very high as a bowler at this point. So once I build a little bit more confidence, I can get back to where I was, and it shouldn't be an issue. But it is taking a little bit of time. It's more of a mental thing for me than anything. Let's try to get through this again. Long pin is still aggressive for me in the back end. Yeah, and it should be. Pin in is really controllable. Yep, the closer the pin to your axis, generally the more controlled it's going to be, or at least it's going to smooth it out. Especially once you start getting closer than like 3 3/8. So keep that in mind. Can you do a series like Tamer Bowling, suggesting a few balls that you like for different oil volumes, basically putting together a solid typical cow shot? Yeah, I can, for sure. I'll try to put something together. If you guys have any type of recommendations or anything you want to see video-wise, especially over the next couple of weeks during this whole pandemic crap, shoot me an email. It's lifestractioncontroljr@gmail.com, and I'll start trying to put as much stuff as I can together. I can't mentally get myself to snap my wrist for getting the ball to get good rev, so I had to switch to two-handed bowling. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Nobody's going to tell you, or nobody should tell you you're wrong. What would you do for someone whose ball isn't getting into a roll and has too long of a hook phase? Skid snap reaction. I would try some different layouts, because you can, or different surfaces, try to get it to read sooner. Surfaces plus layouts can do some wondrous things. Stronger layouts with more surface, maybe. What do you think about adding the Axiom and Wild Streak to my arsenal? Currently have a Phase 3, Jagged Edge Hybrid, Pitch Purple, 45-year-old collegiate bowling, and big fan of yours. Appreciate that, William. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea. You're talking about a big asymmetrical ball with a, mid-range symmetrical ball in the Wild Streak that kind of gives you more bang for your buck out of that Wild Streak. I think it'll fit in there pretty good because then you have the Axiom or you either start with the Wild Streak, go into the Axiom to the Phase 3, and then to the Jagged Edge, and then you have the Pitch Purple for playing straighter or whatever you want to do there. I think that's a good option. I don't think that would be wrong. How feasible would it be to use older equipment, 25 years old Columbia balls, or are they just obsolete? No, I mean, I think you're going to struggle compared to using new bowling balls nowadays because the technology has just gotten so much better. So I don't think I think you're giving up hitting power and a little bit of curve, I would say. I'd love to get some lessons with you. Only thing I'm left. Doesn't matter if you're left-handed. I've coached many left-handed people. You'd be fine. Swan. Is that how you say that? Swan Edwards? Cuan. Should my spare ball be the same weight as my first ball? Yes, most times. Definitely need to at least. You should try to keep it the same because you don't want to change your swing too much. I've seen some people use lighter spare balls, thinking they can just throw them harder, maybe keep them on line a little bit better. But yeah, I wouldn't. I would just use a normal spare ball, the same weight as what you have now, and I think you'd be okay. I'd love to see you do a collab with Brad and Kyle. Would you be up for that? I think that would be tough because the only time we ever really see each other is out when we're at tour stops. And I'm not going to be at many tour stops for a while. Neither will they, actually. So you probably wouldn't see anything like that in a while. But I don't know. You could always bring it up to them. It's a possibility. I'm not against it, for sure. More people talking bowling, the better off. All right, what do we got here? What do you think of Motive's microcell polymer? I don't have a ton of expertise with them yet. The only one I really saw was that the Blitz, and I really like that. It's in my bag. It's going to go with me most places as a complement to my purple hammer. Buddy, I can't have you up here right now. You're going to have to relax. Go play with Kina.
Oh, play Kina.
Why not? Kina loves you. It's your dog. If it wasn't for you, I'd already gotten rid of her.
Oh, doggy go.
She's out there. I hear her clickety-clacking nails all over the wood floor. All right, let me keep going here. Trying to get down. Ever coach someone that slides off the wrong foot? Yes and no. And always try to correct it for sure. Do you know Dale Hoffmeister? Yes, I do. Yeah. Bold. He was on my team for team all events when we won the team all events Eagle out at Nationals back in 2009. So he was my teammate. Let me see here. Brad and Kyle had me on their channel. Yeah, we did that one video where they asked about Nationals last year or something. Can my thumb be changed to a switch grip without filling the hole? Yes, you can. You can just drill right on top of it and put an outer in. You'll be fine. It was a good brand bowling ball to roll with Motive as they don't put out enough equipment. I mean, I think they do. They come out with a ball every 45 days. So, but I mean, I think any company is going to be good. I don't think. Uh-oh. Broke it. No. Did I just lose it?
Oh, broke it.
No, we're good. I just lost it on my end over here. Refresh my computer so I can see, because I can't see anything. Refresh. Refresh, refresh, refresh. What is going on here? No internet. Why is my internet down? can't be. No, it's not. Let me try again. Am I still on over here? Can't see comments or anything. Can you all still see me and hear me? Or hear me at least? The kid is a sissy? That's rude. Good on this end. Okay. Well, my computer's being not very nice, I guess. Not sure why. Oh, now it's showing that my internet's not working. Let's try to reconnect. Maybe that worked. There we go. Let's see if we can pull it back up. Sorry, guys. A little delay here. Oh, gotta go through the ad now again. All these dang creators making ads on their videos. All right, there we go. Now we got her. Now we got her. The governor quarantine your internet. Yeah, I know it. I know it. They screwed me up. All right, let's see if we can kind of start back here. How would you fix oil going over the thumb hole no matter how I have my hand? It still has oil going over. Is it just one ball or is it every ball you throw? It's going to depend. Siwan Edwards again. I have the Omega Crux as my primary ball. Saw your video on the Legends Pure Diamond. Looks pretty decent. Would you recommend the Pure Diamond as a complement ball? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not a good ball to complement it because it is. I'd say it's cleaner than the Crux Prime or the Omega Crux. It's definitely cleaner. The Omega Crux for me has been super early and strong, like overall strong. So I would, if you're looking for cleaner with versatility, yeah, definitely an option there. Jackson, back off. You're going to hurt her. But I like my Crux. I definitely like my Crux. It goes with me everywhere. I don't know how this works, but this C1 keeps like apparently sending money and asking questions, so that pops up right away, so I see theirs right away. So that's kind of cool. I don't know what that means, but like whatever. I'm new to this whole top chat thing.
Right here.
There we go. Love My Idol Pro. It's best ball I throw. Super chat. What is super chat? Did you break it? You did. You broke it, didn't you? You little way to go, buddy. You broke it. I'll fix it later. Have you thrown the Radical Results? I have it, and I have it laid out. I did not throw it yet. It's sitting at the pro shop that I can't get into right now. So I'm stuck. I know, buddy. You can't go down there right now. I agree with you, Mary. What did Mary say? I don't know. I can't see it. Huh. Is urethane viable for lower rev rate players? Not usually necessary, but yeah, you can. Sometimes if there's enough reaction to the right, you can use it. His questions or comments get highlighted. That's why they pop right up then. I can see it right away. No, we're not going to fix it right now, buddy. There's no need. Just play with it. You'll be okay. Since you're not on staff with one brand, do you feel that you have better option choices for your arsenal? Yeah, I mean, it gives me, it just takes me a little bit to understand each ball. So I have to practice more with them, because just doing the reviews doesn't give me enough of an insight. I mean, I can tell you about basically what the basics of what the ball is about, but maybe I should be doing, honestly, I should be doing reviews like when I first get it, do that initial review out of the box, and then I should do it again, like a couple of weeks later after it's got some games on it, and then do it again a few weeks after that. So I should really be doing 3 reviews for each ball. And maybe that's what I'll start doing. That's probably not a bad idea. But I don't, it takes so much. There's a lot that goes on with these. That's one of the things. I want more Bowling Faithfully videos. I know. I need to be doing them more. And figuring out, my original plan with that was I was going to do this channel, and then I was going to do that channel, the Bowling Faithfully, but then I picked up the Bowler X channel, and they technically employ me, so I kind of have to make those my priority right now as far as that goes, but I'm still going to continue to try to make some stuff for those channels as well. I'm going to come bowl with you after this is over, JR. Only live, live like an hour away from you. Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. That works. What symmetrical balls do you use in your arsenal? I got the Idle Pearl. I've got the Emerald IQ. I got a bunch of them, but those are the 2 favorites right now, I think, as far as symmetrical goes. Track lines run over my middle finger insert. How do I fix this issue? Again, is it on every ball? I'd have to know if it's every ball or if it's just that simple. Because if it's just one ball that's doing it, generally it's just the layout. If it's every single ball, then it's your release or it's a pitch of some sort that needs to get you out of the ball at a different time. What's the hardest thing about bowling PBA events? The patterns, pair changes. I think it's the unknowns is the hardest, because it's so different. Bowling in the PBA events, it's not like bowling a local tournament, because you have to be so far ahead of transitions and moves. When you're bowling in a actual PBA event, and the scoring paces are higher, and even at like 220 doesn't seem like a huge game, but when you're out there on conditions, like when 220 is a good game out there. I know, buddy, you broke it, but that's okay. We'll fix it later. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We don't have any screws, bud.
Up here.
No, that's not going to work. That won't work. Go put it away.
Downstairs.
No. A screw won't fix it. We need to drill it out and put it back in there. We'll do it tomorrow. We got lots of time. Okay? But anyway, so when you're out, and when 220 is a good game out there, that makes like maybe 200 or 190 a good game at a normal amateur event, because of the way they break down, and they break down more difficultly because people in an amateur event are playing all over the lanes, and that just makes them that much harder. Whereas they actually get a little bit easier as you go in the PBA events, but the difference is they get a little bit spotty. And if you don't make the right guesses or changes at the right times, you're shooting 2-0 instead of 220 or 230 to catch back up. And now you're behind, and you can't risk shooting 170 or 180 again. So now when you shoot 170, now you have to shoot 250 to try to gain up some ground. So it's all a mental grind, because you're always trying to figure out a way to catch up or be ahead of the game. Because you'll notice when you go and look at like the leaderboard at the top, most of the people, when you look at their scores across, you don't really see any bad games in there. Or if you do, you'll see a bad game backed up with a really good game. So you'll see somebody shoot 170 backed up by 270. So it's a whole lot different ball game out there, because you're looking for different moves, different changes than what you are in a normal event. Do I have a favorite brand? I think I use more Storm and Rotogrip stuff than anything. But it's just because my ball roll is so forward. My ball roll is very early. It reads the lanes super early. So I like to see those cleaner covers. You know, I'm using an awful lot of 900 global stuff now. We're seeing a lot more of that go down the lane for me than anything. What ball has the best smell? I don't know. I don't go smelling them. But back in the day, the one that I left in my trunk all the time was that Spitfire, because it was like an apple pie or something. It was crazy. JR, do you have a Hammer Redemption Solid in your arsenal? I do now. It actually just replaced my Halo. I just did the review on that the other day, last week sometime, and I was very impressed with that ball. So it's going to replace my Halo because my Halo is getting some games on it. But anyway, so one of those topics, one of those things, speaking of, you know, the ads and all this stuff, I had somebody, anybody that was paying attention to the community in here, I posted some shirts and stuff that were available on, at my Teespring store. And they're like $20, and a guy he comes on and he comments and he says, why would I spend $20 on your shirt when I can go to a Nike outlet and get a really nice Nike shirt for $20? And I'm like, okay, dude, I get it. Like, if you don't want to get a shirt, don't. Like, but what are you trying to prove by coming on here and saying that you can get a shirt for $20 from Nike? Like, of course you can, because they buy millions of shirts. They're a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company, buying shirts for pennies, and they're buying millions of them at a time and selling them for the same price. Of course they can, you know, do something a little bit different. Whereas like with creators, with us, we're making these shirts basically just drop shipped on demand. We're not buying them in bulk or anything. They're on demand. They come from drop shipped from a company where they make them whenever they're ordered, and then they ship them to the people who order them. And so they cost way more than what Nike pays. So of course they're going to of course they're going to cost more, you know. So the story behind this is just simply to say, you know, when you see Brad and Kyle's page or Ron Hicklin's page or any of these people who are making this content for free, who's giving you information, who's doing all these things to better the sport, and it doesn't even have to be bowling. It can be fishing, it could be golf, it could be whatever channel that you enjoy watching. They are taking the time to make these videos for you. So please support them. Like, they don't make money off this. The ads, like, they barely make anything off of the ads that come through here. You have to have millions of followers and millions of views to make any type of money off of any of these channels. So when these people are saying, oh, I want to be a YouTube star, well, that's great. I hope you can make content that gets hundreds of thousands of views a day in order to make any type of money. Otherwise, you know, you're sitting on pennies at the end of each month trying to cover your cost for, you know, your tripods, your microphones. And I'm not saying microphones are expensive, but because I've gone through 4 or 5 of them now, everybody who watches my stuff knows I've had a couple of videos that the mic's gone bad and it causes me to go and, you know, buy another mic. So, and they're not exactly cheap. So I don't know, there's cost to all this stuff. So everybody that thinks all this is free, you know, you make money off of this, that's not necessarily true, you know. So when you go and watch these guys, go to InsideBowling.com, support those guys at the house, support them, buy their merchandise, buy their shirts. You know, I have shirts underneath. Any support you can give us to help keep this stuff going, we absolutely 100% appreciate it. You know, we don't expect it by any means, but when we do get the support, it means an awful lot because it keeps us going. It makes us feel like we actually have appreciation for what we're trying to do, trying to build, you know, stuff, trying to build some knowledge, trying to help people get better, trying to build the sport a little bit. So if you do have the ability to support those types of things, you know, then please do. And if you have ideas of types of merchandise you want to see, backpacks, hats, stuff like that you might consider supporting, you know, always let us know, because we'll make it. We'll try and design it. We'll do whatever we can. But we're always looking for that support, because that's the only way we can keep these things going, is by getting the support from you guys on Patreon, stuff like that, doing virtual lessons, live lessons, anything on there, just supporting the channel through there. It all helps big time when it comes to, keeping this stuff going. So a little bit easier this week because we're on some downtime, but when we're actually working full time and then we got to come up with extra spare time to make these types of videos, it's a little bit different. So now we're putting time away from families, and it's, you know what I mean? Everybody knows exactly what I mean. So just whenever you can, if you can, but if you can't, don't worry about it. No harm there. All right, let's get back to this. Let's see what we got going here. Nike uses cheap labor. Yeah, you're talking about sweatshops. Of course it's cheap labor. Paying pennies to get stuff made. And you're going to go out and support Nike instead of the people who are trying to help you. A little bitter. Current arsenal consists of a Phase 2 idle pearl, melee jab, and a choice hybrid. What do you think I should slot in next? Phase 2. This is solid symmetrical, idle pearl, symmetrical pearl, melee jab. I believe that was symmetrical, right? Yeah. Choice hybrid. You can get rid of that. That ball wasn't very good. But I think you need an asymmetric. You need something bigger. You need asymmetric. You need like a UFO or a money badger would be okay. Oh, actually, a honey badger extreme solid or pearl would be great. Those are really popular in my bag. A redemption solid would be good. Another big solid asymmetric. The proof, the new trackball, that proof looked really good. That would be another solid piece to put in there. JR and Frank the Tank are my second dads. I don't know what that means, but thanks, I guess. Is it necessary to slide, or can I get away with planting? No, yeah, you can plant. That's fine. You can create, you're going to put a little strain on your legs and your knees, but that's okay. Do you guys get paid for people watching your old videos? Yeah, I mean, as long as they're still monetized with the ads and stuff, as long as people are, even when you click through the ads, you still kind of get, a portion. You get pennies or a penny or something. I don't even know exactly how it works, but basically it's a couple bucks every 1,000 views you get, basically. So you need to really build some views. But yeah, even the old videos, when you get views, it still counts. So no big deal there. Opinion on vacuum grips. Yes, I use them, and I think are very important because you get swelling all the time. So it's very important to use that, in my opinion. I have a purple hammer, idle, and Omega Crux. What should I look into next? So you got a urethane, this big solid symmetric, and then a big asymmetric. I mean, you could get in. You probably need a weaker symmetric or a weaker asymmetric. So something like an IQ Tour, even an old Game Breaker 2 or 3 would be okay for you. Something in that long. A Wild Streak would be good. The Intimidator. Yeah, I did a 1-inch pin layout on the Intimidator to simulate like a urethane look, and it works out pretty good. That ball goes with me just about everywhere when I know they're going to be tough. Are there different dimensions for drilling finger holes for vise or turbo grips? No. There shouldn't be any problem with them. They should either be like the lady grips from Vice and the Miss Quads from Turbo. They're 7/8 inch holes. And then your normal grips are 31 32nds, and then your really big ones are like 1 inch and a 32nd. So they should be pretty much the same. What's the difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical? So like this bottle right here is symmetrical. And if I take this and put it on the side, it is no longer symmetrical because now it's got this big part on this side, but not on this side. But if I were to put one of these on each side, it would then be symmetrical again. You know what I'm saying? So the asymmetrical bowling balls, or the cores with these, are going to be unstable. They're going to wobble until they get into its preferred spin axis. And it takes a little bit longer to do that usually. Or it could be quicker based on how you lay it out. It tries to make that motion faster, which is why you see asymmetrical stuff kind of hook stop sometimes, depending on the bowler. And then a symmetrical ball, it's a little bit more stable rolling. So until it gets to this point where it's rolling on side, and then it, is more continuous. What beer produces higher scores? Any craft beer, I would say, are pretty good. Stick with the craft beer, you'll be okay. Best bang for your buck. The Beasts were really good. Man. It used to be the Cyclones. The Cyclones used to be that ball. That was a huge bowling ball for a low end piece. But yeah, I think the Beast kind of took that over right now. At this point. Destinies. Yep, Destinies were a good one. Yep. In-person lessons. I charge $55 an hour, which some people think is expensive, but again, I value what I bring to the table. So it used to be $75 when I worked at Turbo. We charged $75. So I kind of downed it a little bit to $55, and then you pay $10 for the lineage for the lane. So $55 an hour, no big deal. Quick fix to briefcasing, a lesson, yes, or really just practicing and making sure your hand gets to the inside of the ball rather than the outside, because that's all briefcasing it is just getting your hand to the outside too quick or too much. What's my take on the motive covers? Do they retain cover strength after rejuvenating? I honestly, I don't know. I haven't really put them to the test. All the stuff that I get is, they're always fresh covers when I get them. Obviously, they're brand new. So I haven't put them to the test of using them over time and then rejuvenating them. And we don't do, Mason might be able to answer that question differently because he works the pro shop. So he's in the pro shop side of it. He might see more balls go in the rejuvenator. So I'm not sure. So we'll try to keep that question in mind for when I get Mason on here. I'll see you for a lesson in person when I can. I have never been able to get my hand on the inside of the ball. Yeah. And that's a common thing, and it's a pretty easy fix. A lot of the things that are real easy to fix generally are, the release, getting the thumb out properly. Believe it or not, and I know this is going to sound bad, but 9 out of 10 lessons that I have, I end up having to drill a new thumb for people because they always drill a circle thumb. And it's not necessarily that a circle thumb is bad, but it's because they drill a circle thumb and then they swell a little bit. So then they open that circle thumb up a little bit and it opens it up both side to side and front to back. Well, the swelling comes side to side, not front to back. So they open it up enough to be big enough side to side, but now it's too big front to back. And then they never use tape, so now they're squeezing, and I always have to redo it for them. So that is one of the big things that, always seems to happen. But yeah, fixing all that stuff is real simple, real easy. Swan, I hope I'm saying that right. C-U-A-N, Swan Edwards. It's got to be Swan, right? Or Quan, maybe? I don't know. But if you want to get a hold of me, just email me, lifestractioncontroljr@gmail.com. You can try Facebook, but anybody that's messaged me on Facebook knows it does take me some time to get to them. And I'm being honest, there's just so many messages that come through. I try to get to them, but I don't always. So you can try, but sometimes I don't always get to Facebook. Email usually is a little bit, better. I at least check that every so often. It's Sean. Oh, I gotcha. See, it's this, yeah, you got me there. That is a very unique spelling to a name. I like it though. That's cool. That's really cool. What's a good solid ball? Right now, I think I'm stuck on that, on that Redemption Solid, man. That thing was ridiculous. That ball did everything on the lane. And at Classic, we use a lot more volume there than most places. So that Redemption from inside part of the lane to the outside part of the lane, it didn't matter. That thing, it hooked from anywhere. 55 is more than fair. Say SF Bay Area, California, 150 an hour with Bill Hall. Yeah, I mean, Bill's a really, really good coach, though. And you're talking about an area that, there's an awful lot more money out in the San Francisco area. So, I mean, it goes with the territory. That's probably equivalent to about $75 out here, I'd say. I run a shirt company. I have people that do. I think I should charge for my design time. I must have missed a comment or something. Thoughts on orange vibe for a new bowler? Absolutely. Perfect lower end ball that will get somebody started for sure. Don't need anything huge. You don't want to start somebody off in one of those big expensive balls. You don't have to. How do I get brand exposure for my third year collegiate team? Go to Collegiate Expo at Turbo. Turbo Collegiate Expo is a prime spot to go for college coaches. They do it every July. Hopefully they're doing it again this July, but right before, or June, right after, usually right before Bowl Expo, what is it? Junior Gold. They run Collegiate Expo, and it's perfect. It gets so many college coaches out there. You get a chance to meet a ton of kids. They always fill up at 250 or some odd kids. It's a really good way to do that. And then the other way would be to have me run a clinic because I always advertise that I'm going to a clinic. The flyers are put out. People see it on social media. And then generally I will record pieces of the clinic to make a film or some type of video for later for advertising purposes and stuff to be put on YouTube. So it's a good way there. Do you give lessons at TurboTech? I do not any longer. I used to, and then I'm no longer there. I'm doing things on my own now. So I do not. I think now you have Andrew Anderson and Chris Sands still over there with Mike Maglin and Brad Martin. Some of those guys are still giving lessons over there. So get a hold of them. They'll be able to hook you up. Ooh, kid, don't be throwing water at me. Don't throw it. You are located in Detroit, right? Just north of Detroit. I'm northeast. Classic Lanes is Rochester Hills, which is straight north of Detroit, basically. So, you need more water? I gotta go get my kid more water. He's gonna die of dehydration if I don't get him water right now. So, I'll be right back. You wish I was all done, don't you? Come on. No. You ain't playing with that.
I thought. Booba. I thought. Oh. No!
You want orange or apple? No, orange or apple, buddy? You got yourself a hot dog, I see, huh? Alright, you're getting orange.
No, orange.
You want apple? There you go. There you go. My leg hurts. Eat your hot dog. There you go. Oh, you give Tina, get yourself another one then.
No.
All righty. All done with your water? Yes, sir. Oh. I got some new shirts too. It's pretty sweet. Lee over at Bowler X designed up some new some shirts for my videos. So I got 4 different colors. So that way I'm not wearing a green and black one every day. And when I got to use the green screen, I can use different color shirts. All right, going up, looking at comments. Oh yeah, and for you, those of you who don't know where to go to get merchandise from me, if you do want to support it, if you look here down when you go below, there's a row of like shirts and stuff. It shows you. Just click on any of them and you can go through the store and look. Just an FYI there for you. All right. What is going on here? All right. Clinics, it depends. If you have a college budget, we try to work with the college budget. If you don't, and then we got to charge each student. It's generally anywhere from $59 to $79, depending on what we do, because we usually do a couple hours. So we'll do a couple hours with class time and then online instruction as well. And I usually have a presentation and stuff that we go through. So we make it into a little bit of an ordeal. So it's worth a little bit more than, just like an hour lesson. More chats, please. We got all kinds of chats. What are you talking about? Hydration Nation. Heck yeah. Hey, JR, I'm from Ohio and was wondering, I sent you video footage of me bowling if I get some tips or how I can get lessons. Yeah, so I do online lessons. It's going to be pretty hard to do live virtual lessons now because people can't get into bowling centers. But if you have video of yourself bowling already, you can send that to me. You go over to patreon.com/Life's Trash Control. The link's in the description actually here on this live. You should be able to click on it and go over there. And there's an option for either or. You can do live lessons or you can do the $25 virtual lesson, which lets you send in a video, and then I redo that video for you each month. And you can either do it monthly or you can just do it 1 month and then cancel. It's up to you. Do you do virtual lessons? Yes, James, that's actually what I was just talking about. What are your thoughts on the baller? That ball still makes my bag. It still goes with me most places. That is one of my better, cleaner, asymmetrical balls that when I can go left and I can open the lane up, that ball usually comes into play quite a bit. I had a piece of slick tape and it tore and I can't get it out. I used an almost thumb slug. What would I do to help? Maybe get some alcohol. See if you can't break up some of that adhesive, or some acetone. Put it down in there, clean that thumb out, and then buzz it out. Something like that, maybe. Would that type of clinic be online? We're a university in California. It could be. It would probably be the best bet to make it cheaper. Otherwise, I'd have to charge way too much to go out to California for 6 or 7 people. So we could kind of arrange something that could be online to where we would do a Zoom call. And you could actually follow. We could do, because believe it or not, coaching from a camera isn't that difficult. As long as the student can hear me and they can see me, generally we can make it happen. I've done some live lessons to where people have the camera on the lane with them and they've worked out really, really well. I'll try to get some testimonials from people who have done some of the live lessons, and they'll tell you we were able to work as if I was actually there. We were able to do online lessons as if I was standing right behind them doing the lesson with them. So it does work out quite a bit like that. It doesn't sound like it would, but it actually does. Did I start Bowler X? No, Bowler X is not my thing. Bowler X is a company that basically sponsors me, and I help them by coming up with content and doing content for their YouTube channel. And that's one way I am able to do this, is because they sponsor me and pay me to, do the videos for their channel. And then I do videos on my channel as well. And I try to mix them up a little bit and try to do as much as I can on both, and do some training. Majority of the training stuff will be on my channel, but I do try to put some over on that channel so that way, we can build that one up as well. My ball speed's 14 miles an hour, but I have decent revs, rev dominant. What layouts are good for bowlers like me? What type of sim and asim pearl would be better? If you're rev dominant, you're going to want to use stronger, smoother layouts because you don't want something that's going to go crazy down lane. So closer pin to axis. So Mo would probably recommend a lot closer pin, 3 3/8 to 4-inch pins. Try to get them to, or even closer than that if you can. But that's what I would do. Man, comments are coming in too fast. How much are your lessons in person? In-person lessons are $55 plus $10 for the lanes. That'll get you an hour. And generally, we don't even need an hour because most times when you come in, I pinpoint it pretty quick and we'll get you fixed within a half an hour, or at least get you on the right path in a half an hour. And then the rest is up to you to practice it and kind of put it into place. So what about the USBC report about the urethane test? Wasn't it supposed to be released after the US Open? No, I think they were waiting until March. I think it was supposed to be this month. I haven't seen it yet. But basically, I have no idea what's going to happen, you know? So we'll see what they actually came up with on the whole thing. What are you cackling about? Cackling. I'm going to keep going down. You got called a wimp earlier, by the way. How does that make you feel?
Blankie.
It makes you want a blankie? All right. When do you decide ball change versus more adjustments? It's a great question. It's tough because if I'm out on tour, if I'm bowling a PBA event, generally it's going to be a ball change more than a hand position. If it's something even tougher, generally it's just going to be a hand position because I don't want to give the pocket up. So it depends on the scoring pace, I guess I'd say. If the pace is high, then I'm going to be making a ball change. Bowler X located in Rochester? No, Bowler X is actually out of, I believe it's Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Somewhere in Pennsylvania. Lee Sant and his wife Krista and their son Lane. They run, it's actually a pro shop, and they have the online store. And now the online store is one of the biggest retailers in the world. So we do a lot of this stuff for them. How far ahead of time would you need to schedule a virtual lesson? Virtual lesson, probably give me at least a couple of weeks, maybe a week, to be able to make sure I can, be free during that time. Unless you're just sending me a video. If you're just sending me a video, then you can send it at any time, and then I get to it eventually and send it back. Do I do lessons for two-handers? Yes, I do. Yep. Kevin Scarborough, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Besides doing demo days for a bunch of different bowling ball companies or drilling several bowling balls, what's the best way to find a bowling ball company that suits you? Just talk to pro shop guys. They know kind of the characteristics of each company, what they tend to like out of bowlers. So just have a good conversation with your pro shop operator. He'll be able to help you out. Two-handed with very low rev rate. Any tips? Yeah, we're going to want to work on some fundamentals. If your rev rate's low, we definitely have a fundamental issue because you don't have to worry about clearing your thumb. So I would have to see you bowl in order to really give you something more than that.
Free? That bear.
Need a joint YouTube show with you and Mason like Brad and Kyle. I agree. The problem is Mason, he works his full-time job and then he's got to work the pro shop afterwards. So finding time for him to catch on the camera with me is really, really difficult. But I try to get him on as much as I can. But he's a wealth full of knowledge as well. It's really nice to get him on here. Realistically, would you recommend the ripcord flight to make it into a 3-ball bag? I mean, everything I saw, it was pretty strong and continuous and smooth. So, yeah, I didn't see anything bad out of it. If anything, it was probably a little too smooth for me. So if you're looking for more of a benchmark type piece, then yeah, I think that would be okay. Any plans to sign with a new company? Nope. Not signing with anybody as long as I'm working for a sponsor like Bowler X. Because if I'm sponsored by somebody, a bowling ball company, it's really hard for me to give an unbiased opinion, of, whether a bowling ball's good or whether a company's good or whether they're making good stuff. I mean, I'm never going to come out and say a bowling ball's bad no matter what company, because there's really no such thing as a bad bowling ball. There's just bowling balls that are going to be better at certain situations than not. Like a ripcord flight. I'm not going to try and move way left with a ripcord flight. And I'm not going to try to play way right with an astrophysics, so I'm not going to be able to play straight with that ball. Whereas a ripcord flight, I probably have a better chance of playing straight. Astrophysics, probably a better chance playing in, so it just depends on the company, depends on the ball. Just started seriously getting into bowling, and I can be my own worst enemy, can't we all? Getting lost in equipment. What average phase of development do I really need to worry about? Details such as layouts, etc. If you're just getting serious into bowling, I would be more worried about your physical game than anything. Worry about your physical game and your visualization. If you can visualize and feel what you want to happen, it's a whole lot easier to make it happen. So get a coach, get a good coach that can help you get on the right path. All this talking is drying my throat out. I need another beer. Hey, I'm going to test you. No, I'm not going to do that. Just kidding. I was going to ask him to go get me a beer. He would too. That's the thing.
More beer.
What's your opinion on the Vice It? It's another interchangeable, another good one. I mean, they have their issues just like Turbo does. I think they're all good interchangeables for the most part. So I don't have anything bad to say about any interchangeable.
Toys. What kind of toys? Yeah, toys.
No problem, Chip. Appreciate the question. I'm sure I didn't get to all of them. I didn't get all the questions here, but trying. What bowling ball have you had your most success with, or your favorite ball you've owned? Boy. Back in the day, it was the Rotogrip Horizon. I won like 3 or 4 tournaments in a row with that ball. National College Championship. And then I won the Cleveland Kickoff and went out and won the Bud Light Challenge. I mean, there was some tournaments back to back to back that ball looked really good at. Yes, someone please go get me a beer. It's the best place I've placed in a tournament, most prize money won. I won the Paragon, a Michigan tournament a couple of years ago for 15 or 16,000. I've won. That's the thing is, most people don't know about me is I've won most of the big money tournaments that have gone around, or at least finished really high in them. I think the only one I haven't won, the only 2 that I haven't won, is the Memorial Day, the $10,000 Memorial Day tournament in Grand Rapids, and the Bradley. I finished second at the Bradley. But other than that, I've won the Cleveland Kickoff, the Bud Light Challenge, the Paragon. I've won a few of the big Detroit tournaments. There's other ones. There's all kinds of them, but I've got Eagles. I've got national championships. I got a college national championship. I've got regional titles. I've made multiple TV shows. It's just, I'm just not. A lot of you guys are just getting to know me through YouTube now, so you really haven't seen any of that success. Most of that success was before I even started a YouTube channel. So a lot of you guys don't know that I actually used to be good at this game. I wonder what the impact of this is going to have in small independent bowling alleys. I think, in my personal opinion, this shutdown thing is a little over too far. I think it's a little too far, if you ask me. I don't think we needed to go this far. I think the unfortunate thing is we can't expect people to have common sense and common decency to just stay away from people and not spread their diseases or their viruses. But I'm also a firm believer that I already had it. I was in the ER for 24 hours where I couldn't breathe. I felt like somebody was sitting on my chest and my blood pressure was sky high. So I was stuck in the ER and had to do a stress test. And this was before they even knew that the coronavirus was around. This was a couple months ago now. I mean, I feel for anybody that's actually had it. I mean, it wasn't like life-threatening. It made me uncomfortable. It made me feel like something's just not quite right. So I need to figure out what's going on. I'm a firm believer that I already had it, and I think it's been around for a while now. And now that there's a name to it, I think they're just now figuring out, okay, now we're going to actually test for this specific virus. When before they were just telling everybody they had a respiratory virus, that it was just an upper respiratory infection or something. So now they're making it out to a huge deal, which it very well may be. It very well may be a big deal. And if it's true, what they're saying is how they don't have very many respirators or whatever ventilators, then we have some. Then we're going to have problems if we start getting that many people in hospitals without respirators. But when I was in there, I never needed a respirator or anything. They just, I don't know. It is. I mean, it was what it was, I guess. So I don't know. Any tips for increasing your backswing and balance at the foul line? Yeah, I got videos out on those. Definitely go check them out. I don't know that you need to increase your backswing necessarily, but balance is all about getting your left foot centered of your body. That's all. Slide towards your target.
Happy right there. Happy couch. What is that? What is that? Pee?
Did you pee on my couch? Or did you spill water on my couch?
No, pee-pee.
Oh, you little punk. Kid just peed on the couch. That's not good. All right. I think I'm going to get out of here, guys. But I wanted to jump on. Maybe we'll do this each night. Who knows? Now that my wife's working nights for who knows how long. Might jump on each night and have a chat. Whoa, watch the camera, buddy. Have a chat, and we'll see if we can't talk bowling each night. But anyway, make sure to check out those Teespring shirts and stuff. Support your creators. Support the people you enjoy, and help us out as much as you can, and we'll try to help you out as much as you can. So I'll see you guys later. I got a pee stain to clean up now. Good way to end the video. So we'll see you guys later. Take care.